Hi, welcome to the Gift of Life Transplant House. My name is Jim. I'm a volunteer tour guide here, and we're going to give you a tour today. The first thing that you learn about when you come to the Gift of Life Transplant House is that we have a keypad that controls our access. It's a 4-digit code, and it's for extra security. You'll be given that code when you get your information about checking in. We ask that you don't share that code with anybody else or let anybody in who's standing at the door, because people that belong in the house will have the access code. And right now I'm going to punch that code in, which changes from time to time, and then we're going to enter the building. This is our foyer area, and here we have the outgoing mailbox where you can put any letters or correspondence you need to send. And we also have the Post Bulletin, which is the local newspaper. We have some subscriptions donated to us, and so we have those available for you to look at your leisure. As you enter the Gift of Life House, Gift of Life House, you'll notice that we have an in and out board here. We use this to keep track of all our guests in the event of any kind of evacuation for public safety, for example. So we just ask that you move your marker to out if both residents of the building are out, of the room are out, and leave it on in if one of you or both of you are in the building. That way, if we had a fire alarm or something of that nature, we could evacuate quickly and be able to account for everybody. And this is Kyle at our front desk, and the people at the front desk are here Monday through Friday, and they will help you with anything that you really need, and you can, including making your payments to them and any other assistance that they can provide to make your stay more enjoyable. So we have a special space for our visitors that are not yet 14 years of age, and they can visit, but as long as it's in this room. What they do is they enter from the street with that door closed, the interior door closed. And the reason for this restriction is that younger children tend to get exposed to more germs at school, and so it's important to limit their exposure to the rest of our house. We also have a similar room in our building across the street. And this is one exception to our rule of food must stay in the dining room. You are allowed to have food in this room when you do have guests, visitors I should say, that are under 14 years of age. So what you do is you reserve it at the front desk the day before and just ask to have this room for a couple of hours, and your younger visitors can then enjoy some time, eat a meal, watch television. We even have some age-appropriate games for younger people here. So it can be a very constructive space to visit. And during our winter months, it's very important that we leave our coats and our boots in our coat room. On the first floor, just off the entrance in both of our buildings, you're going to find coat rooms. Now, it being the summer months now, we don't have anything in here, but in the winter months, this will be full of coats and boots. We ask that you have, as soon as the snow starts flying, really, that you have an indoor pair of shoes and an outdoor pair of shoes, and that you just wear your indoor shoes in the building, and that you shed your outdoor shoes as soon as you get in and switch to your indoor shoes. It makes a very big difference in keeping the house as clean as we'd like. And we also ask that you leave your outerwear here as well. Those don't tend to get laundered as often as your other clothes. So please leave your winter coats hanging here. We have ample space for you to do that in both buildings. Everybody gets a mailbox. As you can see here, we have all these mailboxes. There are 48 rooms in this building. We also have 36 rooms at our other building across the 2nd Street Southwest. So all your incoming mail will be sorted here on a daily basis. And you'll find when you check in several things in your mailbox. You'll have a name badge that you'll ask to wear when you're in the building, as well as a parking pass for one vehicle for our surface lot. And there'll also be a check-in and check-out procedure that will tell you what to do when you check in and when you check out. So now, in this building, we have 2 dining rooms and 2 kitchens. So the way it works is you're assigned a kitchen depending on what room number you're staying in. So the following rooms would be in this dining room and using this kitchen. So I'm going to show you what we do before we sit down to eat. We have surface sanitizer. You'll see this in many places in the house. And what we do is we spray down any non-porous surface and wipe it down with a paper towel. Same with the arms of your chair, the surface of your table. and we do that before and after we eat. It's just an extra step for germ prevention, which we're very conscious of here at Gift of Life House with our transplant population. We have coffee is available here, and there's ice water available as well. Now we're entering one of our kitchens. The kitchens are fully equipped. Everything you need to cook and to eat and clean up after yourself is here. You do provide your own food, and I'll show you where we store that. Everybody gets space in a refrigerator, and the room numbers are marked right on the front here, as you can see. And each room gets its own shelf. So that's quite a bit of space for two people to share. And you'll notice the words house food around the house in various places. That is basically communal food that's for anybody that wants to use it. It's been donated by previous residents or other people. And so anything you see in the house food area, it's fair game for anybody that wants to enjoy that. So we encourage people to check that out before they eat their own food. And you'll notice all the cabinets and drawers are labeled so you can find the things that you need for cooking and cleaning and so forth. And we do have everything you need: plates, utensils, all kinds of things to cook food. We also have an extensive section of Tupperware and plasticware for your leftovers down here. And in this kitchen, you wash your dishes as if you didn't have a dishwasher, because we have a sanitizer, which is a different, exactly a different machine. And then after you wash your dishes, according to those instructions on the window, you would place them on the rack, and then when you fill a rack, you put it in the sanitizer, and it's about a 5-minute cycle that will sanitize the dishes. And that's a good precaution against germs. You're also going to see a lot of surface sanitizer. Any surface that we use surface sanitizer on it before and after. Thank you. And we have a lot of toasters, microwaves, conventional ovens, you name it, we've got it in great abundance. We have a lot of pots and pans here. Every one of our kitchens has a house food counter in the center. And so anything you see on here, again, is fair game for anybody that wants it. We get various things donated different times of the year, and they must come from a commercial kitchen or from our kitchen here. So we're not allowed to take donations from church groups for that purpose anymore. We do get, on a regular basis, Panera provides us with fresh baked goods, which are usually very delicious and very popular. So anyway, we have more house food here in this cabinet. You'll see usually quite a bit of beans and canned goods and rice and things of that nature. So if you didn't have a chance to shop before you got here, you could make do probably for a meal or two without having to shop. And then there's usually more house food down here, cereals and pastas and things of that nature. And all our kitchens will have house food areas. Just look for those whenever you check in your particular kitchen. So we're going to go down this hall to see some of the other food storage amenities that we have. So you can see we have an extensive pantry area. I'll show you those in just a moment. But everybody gets a bin in the freezer. So you get a pretty good sized bin. Every room has it, and the room numbers are clearly marked on there. So you can keep your frozen food there. And we also have house food again on the top shelf, and that would be for anybody that has donated or left things. Now we also have pantry space for your dry goods, and you can see it's an ample amount of cabinet space that we have. If you're here for an extended stay, it's really helpful to be able to stock up like that. And your room key would lock that lower portion for you. And we're going to step across the hall into one of our dining rooms. And I'm going to turn the light on since it's a little dark here. So this is one of our larger tables. Now, if you did have guests age 14 or older that wanted to eat with you, that's perfectly fine. That's encouraged. And they can bring takeout food in, or they could cook food with you here. One thing they can't bring in is fresh flowers or fresh plants. I say that because we do have some artificial flowers over here that you'll notice that we have to have due to bacteria that may be present in the soil of live plants. So, but for guests 14 and older are free to visit you and dine here. Also can visit any of the public spaces of the house. Anybody younger than that, we have special rooms where they need to visit And food must stay in the dining area and the kitchen. Food can't be taken any other place in the house. That's a very important rule we have with our special population. So it really helps our cleanliness too. So we have televisions on every level of the house. We do not have TVs in the rooms. That's a noise issue. But we do have television rooms on every floor of the house with comfortable places to sit and watch. And we're going to show you one of them right now. Hi. So this is one of our first floor TV rooms. We have another one at the other end of the house, but this is one of our, used to be a sun porch, I'm sure, but it's now been converted to a full four-season room. And you can see we have television with a DVD player. And we have a lot of puzzles, games, tables to put your puzzles on. And remote control for the television. Just a comfortable place to spend some time. And now we're going to move into what was the parlor in the original home. The home belonged to the Judd family. It was constructed in 1911, and that's Dr. E. Starr Judd, who was a surgeon who worked with the original Mayo brothers at the clinic. So there's quite a bit of Mayo history that goes along with this house. We do have a gas fireplace here for your comfort in the winter, and the controls are up on this wall over here, and we also have a couple of keyboards that guests are welcome to enjoy as well. If we move across the hall, we have another nice space. So we have a nice library here. The titles are organized as they would be in a library. You're free to check out these books, and you just take them to your room and read them wherever you want, and then you just put them back on the top of the shelf there. Again, we have another gas fireplace here, and this space is one for people to use to make a phone call, to tell their family how they're doing, just get some privacy. So just a lovely space. Now we're going to head down the hall to the elevator. We'll point out this beautiful quilt that some local people have made for us, and just the number of stitches in that, it's hard to even conceive, but it's a beautiful piece of art, really. We have a couple of bulletin boards on our main hallway that have helpful information that you can just consult from time to time. One of the things that the bulletin board has is a master calendar. On this master calendar, you're going to see any special events that are going on in either of our houses, and some of them are unique to particular houses, some of them are for everybody. But a couple times a month, you're going to find that there'll be a meal provided by a group in the community, and that's a nice thing, and that'll be advertised with placards in the dining rooms and in the other main entry area. So you'll know when there's a special meal prepared for the entire house, and that just means show up and you get a great meal. So, and we'll talk about some of the other information on here downstairs, such as the blood draw service. And it also has information about the Mayo Clinic shuttle, which is a very helpful transportation service provided by the clinic Monday through Friday. Right now we're going to pop in the elevator and go downstairs, where we have some important amenities located. Okay, now we're exiting the elevator on our lower level. In the house here, we have 4 levels. We have basically a basement walkout level and then 3 levels above that. So we're now on the lowest floor of the house. I'll point out that across from the elevator on every floor is a little directory. So it's handy your first couple days as you get your bearings to just check that sign if you're not sure where some room is located. So we also keep these luggage carts down in the basement. You're free to use those to move your goods in and out. It really can be helpful. It can save you a couple of trips. We're now going to head to the end of this hallway to the blood draw room. So here at the end of this hall on the lower level, we have the blood draw room. A similar room is available in our other house across the street as well. This is run by Mayo Clinic, and it's Mayo personnel. All Mayo protocols are followed, and it just means that you don't have to go to the clinic to have your blood drawn. It's really a helpful service for our patients, especially bone marrow patients, and as well as all solid organ patients. So it's a real convenient service. It's offered here early in the morning and also across the street an hour after that. So you sign up the day before, there's a telephone number to call, and then you just wait in the adjacent room and they call your name. So if you were to open that door and look in there, it would look exactly like a facility at Mayo Clinic. They have done it to their standards impeccably. So very popular service, and it just saves you a trip down to the clinic. So now we're going to enter another library space we have down here. We have a lot of great books here, again, similar to upstairs. We also have a computer which has internet access. We do have Wi-Fi throughout the house, and you'll be given that code when you check in. But we also have a wired internet access for people that prefer to work on a larger monitor. And we do have a printer for your printing needs as well. We also have, again, a large television here, which is a very comfortable space too for watching TV or just visiting with friends and family. Again, as long as they're 14 or older, they're welcome to visit you in these spaces and catch up with how things are going. So, okay. And we have a pretty good collection of DVDs, VHS tapes, and as well as games and puzzles as well down here. Now we're going to head down the hall to yet another TV room. So we have 2 on this level. We actually have 3 on this level if you count the TV in the exercise room, which we'll come back and see that in just a minute. We do tend to have a lot of puzzles around, and people enjoy those. So here's another TV room. This one has the pool table. And you can see more puzzles. And we do have another television here. So plenty of places to get out of your room and feel like you're not cooped up. Our next stop is going to be the guest laundry. The most important things to remember is that we have to have the high efficiency liquid detergent. We don't allow the pods. They seem to cause some kind of a problem. And we encourage people to use the surface sanitizer on the inside of the machine before they put their clothes in. And we have house detergents that are available. People leave detergent that's left over, so you can use somebody else's detergent if you wish. That's here for you. Otherwise, you keep your own detergent on these shelves up here with your room number and your name. And again, it needs to be the HE. The logo is usually pretty prominent here. The HE, high efficiency. So, and we do have a change machine, so that's convenient as well. You just have to bring dollar bills for that, and you can use the machines. We do ask that you don't touch anybody else's laundry and remove it from the machine. Wait until they've done that, just so we don't want any cross-handling of laundry by other parties. So, anyway. Next up is the exercise room, which, again, we have an array of machines. We have weights, we have mats, and we have foam rollers and some balls you can roll around on, as well as some cardio machines. And we have another television here. So, again, a nice place to spend a little time and work up a sweat. And now we're going to go back upstairs. We're now back in our main corridor, and we're going to head up to the first floor to see a guest room right now. So. Right now we're moving from the additions that we've put on over the years to the original house again. So this is part of the original house where the family lived. And we're going to go into, this is room A. Make sure nobody's in there. You notice there's a double and a twin bed and a good-sized dresser. All our rooms will have amenities like this, a dresser, a clock radio. There is a telephone if you did need to make a local call. And you're provided with fresh linens on the bed, And it's up to the guests to wash those as needed during their stay, and at the end you can leave them for us to launder in between guests. So as part of the checkout procedure, we do ask that you strip the beds and make a pile of the bedding so that the cleaning folks can get quickly moving forward on their work. And the same thing is true for the bathroom towels. You get a fresh set to start, and you get a fresh set of towels for 2 people to start. You get bath towels, hand towels, face cloths, and again, you launder those while you're here, and then you leave them for us to launder at the end of your stay. So if you can just put those with your bedding when you leave, it really expedites things for us. So in our bathrooms, you're going to have a sink. Obviously, it's going to be all your own ensuite bathroom facilities with a shower and toilet and sink. And you get started with the things that you need. And then you're going to notice every room will have a desk, and it will have a guest manual. We urge you to read that as one of the first things you do when you get here. It's got some important guidelines that we ask people to follow, and it reminds you about things like food has to stay in the dining area, that there's a zero tolerance policy for food anywhere else in the house, and that's a very important rule. And it also just acquaints you with other procedures and policies that we follow here that are really important for the house to run as well as it can. And then there'll be some paperwork for you to fill out when you first arrive that you're checking in. And there are other little notices and things that you'll find on here. If you did want to switch caregivers, we do have a little form that if you change caregivers, you just fill this form out and let the front desk know about that. And any new caregivers need to get a tour of the building as well, as early on as they can during their time as caregiver. You will see a bulletin board too that will give you the hours for the blood draw service, for instance. And this is the North House, and this is the hours for the North House, and then you see the hours for the South House as well. And we also have an after-hours person you can contact who lives in the building. If you had any kind of a problem with your room after the front desk is closed, you can call that number and she can help you out. It's not for medical emergencies, it's just for mechanical issues in your room with your lights or your heating and air conditioning or so forth. But there is someone you can call after the front desk is closed to help you with that sort of thing. So that's a look at a guest room, and now we're going to head back out here. So we have another television room up here that I can show you while we're here. So this would be similar to the first floor television room, but we're now on the second floor. And again, we have additional DVDs and VHS movies, as well as puzzles and spaces, a game table, and nice amenities to just relax. So if you'd like, we can go to the third floor, and we have a large room up there as well to sit and relax. And we'll take the secondary staircase. This is sort of almost the behind the scenes tour at this point. So we're going up to the top floor of the house now. And if we go around this corner, we have some nice amenities up here. We have this large TV room, which can accommodate a couple dozen people probably, if you really wanted to, with a television. And there's a large table for puzzles, games, things of that nature. Hi. Hi. We also have down the hall, we have a craft room where we've got some supplies for sewing, a few sewing machines. We've got some paints and some stamping kits. And at the Christmas season, we use this as a gift wrap room. So this is a nice room for people following different hobbies and enjoying things that they do at home. So we have a beautiful new deck on the east side of the building, and this is just a lovely spot, as you can see, just off of one of our dining areas. And we've got a nice table to sit in, and there is some shade. And you also have the ability to use a grill. We have grills out here generally, so this can be a nice outdoor living situation. This beautiful home was constructed in 1911 for the Judd family, and Dr. E. Star Judd was a surgeon at the Mayo Clinic who worked with the Mayo brothers. And if you wish to see a plaster cast of one of his hands, you can go to the 3rd floor, the historical suite in the Plummer building, and you can see that. So he was obviously a significant surgeon to be featured in that way at Mayo Clinic. And this building has been added on to extensively by Gift of Life Transplant House. So now we are able to have 48 guest rooms as well as all the other amenities that we've shown you here today. In the building across the street, which was constructed approximately 10 years ago, we do have 36 guest rooms as well as very comparable amenities. So this really concludes our tour of the Gift of Life House. I hope this has shed some light on what we have to offer, and I hope that you do have an enjoyable stay should you come to Gift of Life House. Thank you.